More than 2,000 years ago, an ancient philosopher described a civilization unlike any the world had ever known, until, according to the story, it vanished in a single catastrophic event. Its name was Atlantis. For centuries, explorers and historians have searched for the truth behind this legendary lost city. Some believe Atlantis was a real civilization, destroyed by a disaster and buried beneath the waves. Others believe it was never a real place at all, but a story created to warn humanity about power, ambition, and collapse. Yet one question still remains. If Atlantis was only a myth, why has its story survived for more than 2,000 years? Did Atlantis really exist?
The first known story of Atlantis does not come from an ancient treasure map, a forgotten civilization, or an archaeological discovery. It comes from the writings of one of history's most influential philosophers. His name was Plato. Around 360 years before the birth of Christ, Plato described Atlantis in two of his philosophical works, Timaeus and Critias. He wrote about a powerful island civilization that existed beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the ancient name for the area near the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato's account, Atlantis possessed enormous wealth, a powerful navy, and a society that seemed almost unmatched by the world around it. But the story was not simply about a lost city. Plato described Atlantis as a civilization that became consumed by pride and power. And because of this corruption, it was eventually destroyed by a great catastrophe. But there is one important question historians still debate today. Was Plato describing a real place from the distant past? Or was Atlantis created as a warning about the dangers of human ambition?
According to Plato, Atlantis was unlike any civilization of its time. At the center of the island stood a magnificent capital, carefully planned with enormous temples, royal palaces, and massive circular canals connected to the sea. The land was rich with fertile plains, valuable metals, and abundant natural resources. Its people built a powerful navy that dominated the surrounding waters, allowing Atlantis to expand its influence across distant lands. But Plato believed its greatest strength was never its wealth. It was the discipline, wisdom, and unity that had once made the civilization prosperous. Over time, however, that prosperity gave way to greed. Power replaced virtue. Ambition replaced wisdom. And according to Plato, the civilization that had once seemed unstoppable began to destroy itself from within. If his account is true, Atlantis did not fall because it lacked strength. It fell because it forgot the values that had made it great.
Plato's account raised a question that has fascinated the world for centuries. What if Atlantis was more than just a story? From the age of exploration to the present day, countless researchers have tried to identify the civilization behind the legend. Some searched the Atlantic Ocean, believing Atlantis still rests beneath the sea. Others pointed to southern Spain, where traces of ancient settlements fueled new theories. Some even claimed the lost city could be hidden beneath Antarctica or somewhere deep in the Caribbean. But despite hundreds of expeditions and decades of investigation, no location has ever been confirmed as Atlantis. The deeper historians looked, the more difficult the mystery became. Perhaps people had been searching in the wrong place all along. Or perhaps Plato's story had been inspired by something entirely different.
Among the many theories surrounding Atlantis, one stands above the rest. Not because it proves Atlantis existed, but because it is supported by real archaeological evidence. More than 3,500 years ago, the Minoan civilization flourished across the Aegean Sea. Centered on the island of Crete, the Minoans built impressive palaces, mastered maritime trade, and became one of the most advanced societies of the Bronze Age. Then, around 1600 BC, a massive volcanic eruption devastated the nearby island of Thera, known today as Santorini. The explosion was one of the largest volcanic events in recorded human history. It triggered powerful earthquakes, enormous tsunamis, and widespread destruction across the region. To some historians, the similarities are difficult to ignore. An advanced maritime civilization, a catastrophic natural disaster, and a memory that may have survived for centuries before reaching Plato. But similarities are not proof. Even today, no archaeological evidence has confirmed that the Minoans were Atlantis. They may have inspired the legend, or the resemblance may simply be a remarkable coincidence.
The Minoan civilization offers one of the most convincing explanations for how the Atlantis legend may have begun. But convincing is not the same as conclusive. Plato claimed Atlantis existed beyond the Pillars of Hercules, a location usually associated with the Strait of Gibraltar. The Minoans, however, lived hundreds of miles away in the Aegean Sea. There is also another problem. Plato wrote about Atlantis nearly 1,000 years after the volcanic eruption at Thera. By then, any original accounts could have been altered, forgotten, or transformed into legend. Most importantly, archaeologists have never uncovered a city that matches Plato's description. No inscriptions identify Atlantis, no artifacts bear its name, and no ruins have confirmed the existence of the civilization he described. For many historians, that absence of evidence is impossible to ignore. The story may have been inspired by real events, but the Atlantis described by Plato remains unproven.
To many historians, the biggest clue is not where Atlantis was, but why Plato wrote about it. Atlantis first appears in two of his philosophical dialogues, not in a historical record or an eyewitness account. Throughout his writings, Plato often used fictional conversations and imagined societies to explore ideas about justice, politics, and human nature. Some scholars believe Atlantis served the same purpose: a powerful civilization blessed with extraordinary wealth, a society that slowly abandoned wisdom in exchange for pride and ambition. Its destruction was not simply the end of a city. It was a warning, a reminder that even the greatest civilizations can collapse when power is placed above virtue. If that interpretation is correct, then historians may have been asking the wrong question for centuries. Instead of searching for Atlantis on a map, perhaps they should have been searching for the message hidden within the story itself.
History is filled with civilizations that have disappeared, but very few have captured the human imagination like Atlantis. Perhaps that is because Atlantis represents something larger than a lost city. It represents the possibility that history still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. Every new archaeological discovery reminds us that the ancient world was often far more advanced and far more complex than we once believed. That possibility keeps the legend alive, not because Atlantis has been found, but because people continue to wonder if there is still something we have yet to discover. Whether Atlantis was a real civilization or a story created by Plato, its greatest legacy is the question it leaves behind. How many chapters of human history are still waiting to be uncovered beneath the earth or beneath the sea?
After more than 2,000 years of searching, the evidence tells us one thing clearly. There is no confirmed archaeological proof that Atlantis existed as the powerful lost civilization described by Plato. No ruins have been identified, no artifacts have been discovered, no historical records have verified its existence. But that does not mean the story came from nothing. Real civilizations have risen and fallen.
Natural disasters have destroyed entire cities. And memories of those events can survive for generations, changing as they are passed down through time. Atlantis may have been inspired by real events, or it may have been a powerful story created by one of history's greatest philosophers. The truth is, we may never know for certain. But perhaps the greatest mystery of Atlantis was never where the city disappeared. Perhaps the real mystery is why, after thousands of years, humanity is still searching for it.